Hello and welcome. I'm a hotel AI expert, and I'm very pleased to welcome all of you, the students of Europe Hotel School, to your online learning journey. In the really fast-paced world of hospitality, staying ahead of the curve means understanding the tools that are literally reshaping our industry. Today, we're going to dive deep into one of the most powerful of those tools, artificial intelligence, and specifically how it's revolutionizing revenue management. Now, what we're about to cover isn't just theory. This is the future you'll be stepping into.
So to really get a handle on this, let's do a little thought experiment. I want you to picture the hotel and restaurant scene in the year 2026. You know, this isn't some science fiction far-off future. This is right around the corner. This is the professional landscape you'll be graduating into. And it's a world where success is going to be driven more than ever by data and by AI.
You see, in this new reality, the old rules just don't apply anymore. That simple, traditional method of, taking your costs and just adding a markup, well, that's quickly becoming a recipe for being left behind. Honestly, the market is just too fast now, and their competitors, well, they're using much, much smarter tools. This is the core challenge that we're going to break down together.
Okay, so let's get into our first big idea. We are witnessing the end of static pricing. Those fixed menus, the seasonal price lists, they're being replaced by systems that can adjust in real time. A system that reflects the true value of every single guest experience, moment by moment.
And you can see the difference pretty starkly here. On the one hand, you've got the old way, cost plus pricing. It's simple, sure, but it's completely blind to what's actually happening in the market. It's like driving with a paper map. On the other hand, you have algorithmic yield management. I want you to think of this as a smart, digital layer over your business. It processes millions of data points, customer habits, local events, what your rivals are doing, all to find the absolute perfect price at any given moment. This is the new gold standard.
And all of this brings us to a really crucial new metric. See, we're moving beyond just thinking about revenue per guest. The new key performance indicator is something called RevPAS. That's total revenue per available seat hour. This metric completely changes how you need to think about your physical space. Suddenly, your dining rooms, your lounges, they aren't just rooms, they're assets whose value fluctuates by the minute. Maximizing RevPAS, that is the central goal for these new AI systems.
So how does this actually work in practice? Well, let's start at the smallest scale, the micro level, the individual guest. How can this technology help us move from a one-size-fits-all price to a price that's perfectly tailored for the person standing right in front of us?
The answer lies in what we call dynamic pricing platforms. They operate on a simple but incredibly powerful idea. No two guests are willing to pay the same amount for the same thing at the same time. It's the AI's job to understand that individuality and then tailor the offer to that specific person, not just to a broad, vague demographic.
And here is a perfect example of how it works. So the AI looks at things like past orders, the time of day, maybe even the weather. It spots a guest who tends to spend more, and it offers them a premium chef's tasting menu. At that exact same moment, it sees a more price-conscious student, and it pushes a happy hour bundle deal right to their phone. So you've got the same seat at the same time, but two completely different, perfectly optimized offers. That's the power of this. Okay, now let's zoom out. We've talked about the individual guest, so let's zoom out to the core of your operation, the menu. At this meso level, AI transforms the menu from just a static list of items into a dynamic, strategic tool for optimizing your revenue. And the engine for all this is a new breed of restaurant management platforms. They provide the deep data analysis needed for something we call strategic menu engineering. Really, it's all about understanding the true performance of every single dish you sell, not just what you think is popular. And at the core of this whole strategy is a framework that you're absolutely going to use in your careers. It's called the Magic Quadrant Analysis. Now, it might sound a little fancy, but it's a beautifully simple way to visualize the complex relationship between what your customers love and what actually makes you money.
This quadrant gives you immediate clarity, so you map every item based on its popularity and profitability. Your stars, they're high in both. You promote the heck out of those. Your plow horses are popular, but not very profitable. So the question becomes, can we tweak the recipe to lower the cost? Puzzles are profitable, but they don't sell well, so how can we market them better? And then you have your dogs, low on both. They're just taking up valuable menu space. See, this is what data-driven decision-making actually looks like in action.
But the system keeps evolving. By 2026, it's not just about your internal data anymore. These platforms now include something called predictive competitor benchmarking.
They are constantly scraping competitor menus and delivery apps in real time. So if a rival down the street drops their burger price, the system doesn't just alert you, it actually advises you on whether to price match or maybe offer a value-add promotion, all based on your own guest data. It ensures your strategy is proactive, not reactive. You're playing chess, not checkers.
So we've gone from the individual to the menu, and now let's broaden our perspective one last time to the macro level. This is all about understanding the entire environment your business operates in well before a guest even thinks about walking through your door.
At this level, the really sophisticated hospitality groups are using advanced real estate and demographic data platforms. You can think of these tools as their secret weapon. They use AI to get this incredible bird's-eye view of a neighborhood's purchasing power and consumer behavior, and that provides a massive strategic advantage.
I mean, just look at the sheer scale of data that's being processed here. The AI is analyzing local demographics, foot traffic patterns, neighborhood wealth density, even commuter flow. This allows an operator to understand the optimal price floor and ceiling for a specific location before they even sign the lease. It's the very definition of strategic foresight.
And this macro data doesn't just sit on a server somewhere. It's translated into tangible action. This is what leads to tactics like geofenced promotions. The system can identify a slow period coming up, see a high volume of commuters passing within, say, a 3-block radius, and then trigger a mobile notification for a time-sensitive lunch special, which is algorithmically priced to be the most attractive option in that exact moment and location. All right, let's pull all of this together now. When you combine the micro, the meso, and the macro levels of data, you don't just have a collection of tools. You create a single, cohesive, intelligent system. We call this the zero-error revenue ecosystem. Now, is it perfect? Of course not. But its goal is to eliminate as much of the human guesswork and errors from your pricing strategy as possible.
So what is the ultimate goal here? When you have this fully integrated ecosystem, what's the point? And let me be very clear, it's not just about raising prices. It's about achieving a perfect equilibrium, a perfect balance for the business. The path to this equilibrium has 3 really clear objectives. First, you minimize overpricing, which, as we all know, alienates your guests. Second, you eliminate underpricing, which is just leaving your hard-earned revenue on the table. And third, and this one is huge for your teams, you use dynamic pricing to smooth the demand curve, balancing guest flow so your staff is consistently busy but never overwhelmed.
And this is the most important takeaway for you as future leaders. If you remember one thing today, please let it be this. This technology does not replace the human touch. It protects it. By providing a stable financial foundation and real operational clarity, AI ensures that your teams have the security and, just as importantly, the bandwidth to create those wonderful human moments of hospitality that are the true heart of our industry.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. The future that you are all entering is one where the menu is as intelligent as the chef. By embracing these tools, you are committing to a more sustainable, a more resilient business model. You are ensuring that the art of hospitality doesn't just survive, but that it thrives, secured by systems that can understand the value of a meal as deeply as the person who's eating it. Thank you.